All right, with the Raiders, there's a lot of expectation because, they have Fernando Mendoza. Look, I've said this before with previous number one overall picks from the NFL draft. It is a lot to put, it's a lot, and the expectations are super high to put on a young quarterback to, hey, see the Jets over there? You got to turn this thing around. You're the guy, okay? And I wouldn't change the tone, and it'd be the same if it were the Raiders, if it were the Titans, if it were the Bears, if it were. Let me think about other recent, like with Washington and Daniels, where we're starting to real. Oh, well, maybe it's always been like this, but I'm starting to notice as well. Like number one seeds don't just like go look at all the previous number one seeds. How many of them can like confidently say, "Yep, turn this place around"? Made this play. Like even Tom Brady, the one who has the most Super Bowls, he was the last pick. Okay, he wasn't the first pick. So with the Raiders and what they are now, which I think it's absolutely hilarious that they're so bad they get the first overall pick, and then the team that he left, like they're so good they win the Super. Funny, it's poetry, but um, with the Raiders, you got to look at the division. They play the Broncos twice, they play the Chargers twice, and they play the Chiefs twice. Those are three potential postseason teams. So there's six losses potentially. Um, but getting into it, even with Kirko Chains or Mendoza, um, just depending on where they're sitting, probably around. Because again, they could very well start 3-0. I'll give them the benefit, and they can start 3-0. But wait, what the heck? I'm looking at. Oh wait, this is week 3, week 4. Whoops, whoops, whoops. We got to go back and forth. Look at this: week 4, week 6, week 7. Okay, look at boom, 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 boom. Those are 4 losses right there. Okay, boom, loss, boom, loss, boom, loss, boom, loss. Like I could see people in Vegas calling for Kirk Cousins to be benched if we are at the end of week, because I don't think they're beating the Bills or the Chiefs or the Rams. If we're sitting after week, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4-3, 5-4, 5-4, 5-4, I don't think they would call. But like if they lose this Chargers game and then they lose this Patriots game and they're sitting there around, whoops, let's go back here. Whoop. We're sitting here around the bye week, you know. Yeah, I think it would get really loud where we've played 9 games and we're sitting at 2-7. We're sitting at 3-6. Throw Mendoza out there. What is there to lose? Because I've heard a lot too about people talking about Mendoza sitting the whole season. I don't think that's happening, and the reason why I don't think, because they're talked about like you baptism by fire, throw him out there, or what would he lose by sitting 1 year? What kind of experience would he lose? I think a lot. I think sitting 1 year, because there's parts of me where I think sitting for 1 year is good if you're sitting behind someone like Lamar or like an Aaron Rodgers, situation where he sat behind Favre or who I'm trying to think. Mahomes sitting behind Alex Smith. Those are good situations because you have something to learn. But if you're, for example, like let's look at the Vikings right now. If you're McCarthy sitting behind Murray or Murray sitting behind McCarthy, there's not really much to learn. Or like you look at who Tennessee had at starting quarterback for Cam Ward, or if Cam Ward was just thrown out there week 1 and baptism by fire. Look at Caleb Williams with the Bears. It's like I think there's a difference because it's like you're going to be the guy anyways. You might as well just throw him out there versus a situation like this with Kirk Cousins where you could let him sit and learn something because I do think it makes the quarterback room better. But at the same time, with how eager Raiders fans are, there is parts of me, yes, where if after week 6 they're sitting at 2-4, it would come to the point where They either need to be so bad where it's like, hey, there's no point. There's no point in even playing him. We'll just shelve him for the rest of the season, and just move on with it. And then he'll be the starter next year. There's points to me where I think either that happens, where they're so bad they don't want to play him, or they're so bad but good at the same time, where it's like it's the quarterback's fault. That's why we're not winning. And then at that point, if they are sitting at 3-6, but it's the quarterback's fault, it's the offensive's fault. Let's give Mendoza a shot. They throw him out there, and oh look, you got to play the Broncos twice in 4 weeks, and then you got to play Seahawks. It's probably going to be the same outcome: loss, loss, loss. So I don't know. I think the Raiders have an interesting schedule when you want to look at it from that approach. I'll have them beat the Broncos at least once, split 1-1. I think they could beat the Browns. I had them winning this one, so I'll have them losing this one. They could beat the Titans. They could beat the Cardinals. I think Cardinals could lose 15 games this year, but against the Chiefs, no. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 wins? I gave them 9. Wow. Look at that. I gave them 9 wins. I think in my original prediction, I think I only gave them 6. We'll see. We'll see. I don't think the Raiders are back, but we'll see. They made a lot of additional pieces and movement this offseason. I think for a starter, they are making the right moves to help build around a quarterback. But again, I don't think Kirk Cousins is going to be there forever. I do think after a while, it's eventually going to be Mendoza's team because you drafted him. You know what I mean? But anyways, Raider fans, if I triggered you and you're like, nope, they're going to sweep the Chargers right here and here, let me know. Be sure to let me know in the comments how many wins you have them getting. Looks like I picked 9 wins. It is what it is. But anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next one.